Oh my word, here we go. So we are completely live. Hello.
Hi everybody.
We've just split your tea.
Yeah,
it's not a good start. I'll have a quick sip here. Thank you, Zed. Every Friday is a great Friday when Ed is on. And Paul, obviously. So thank you very much, Zed.
Thank you.
Excellent. Oh, hang on, just do that little thing down there. Look at that. Oh, Zed isn't dead. There we are. Good to hear that, Zed. Fantastic. Well, glad we're both back safely, so thank you very much. Keep right on. I'll put it below our faces. That's quite clever, isn't it?
Yeah, that's better. I can see now.
Thank you. There we go. Double episode in one day. Okay, well that's interesting. Yes, well exactly. So this week's a little bit different, obviously, if you haven't noticed already. So we've got our little episode premiered at 6:30 o'clock, in fact, actually. So in half an hour's time. So this will only last half an hour. It's okay. And then obviously we're going to have our next episode for this week, where we're playing around with some axles on the Land Rover, which is very exciting.
That's good. Can't wait.
Yes, so it's all very good. So hi Ed from Vian Chung. Hello.
Hello.
I keep putting it over my face, I apologise. There's Dan. My favourite time of the week is Workshop Diaries. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you very much, Dan.
Awesome stuff. Well, I suppose we should actually sort of really think about what we've done, haven't we, really? So, it's
yeah, what did we do, actually?
Well, it's a very, very good point, actually.
Ukraine.
So, yes, we went to the Ukraine, so I'm just going to get ourselves into there. So there's us, having successfully started and finished the tour, which is quite wonderful. And in fact, we've got a little video. Look at this. There we go. So we can look around the side there. Look at that. So this is a little video of our little trip. So there we are, driving along, just on the ferry, and of course drove. It was about 3,000 miles in about a week, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was 3,000. Yeah, miles.
Which is quite good fun.
5 days.
It was a good old journey, and we of course went through Europe and went to great places. And in fact, top tip of the week is basically, very simply, go to. Well, where do they have Vienna? What's that place called again? Austria! Mustn't forget Austria. So go to Austria for lunches and breakfast, because they are fantastic. So that's
I think you actually had 3 breakfasts, didn't you, in Austria?
At least, and that was in
all
one
at the
go.
same time. Yeah, exactly. And I think it was 3 coffees and an orange juice.
There's our police. So there's us unloading some lots of stuff. So obviously, having driven about £2 million worth of aid, humanitarian aid, all the way to Ukraine, we then had to unload it all, which was great fun, and then kind of zip back out again. In fact, there's a little school bus, if you like, or it's like a mobile sort of teaching room, if you like, and that went straight to the front line. And there's the gang, the team, which is very, very exciting. So yes, so that was us. So it was quite fun for one thing. A lot of driving, which was quite great. And obviously we had. Just going to pop that up there. You can see a little bit of a time lapse above Paul's head. That's not a thought bubble. So you can actually relive the trip with us.
Yeah, that was good.
Hello from Detroit. Hello, Gary.
Hello, Gary.
I'll put that on there. Hello, Gary. Fantastic. Good to see. Yes, so we had a little trip. We sort of drove very many miles, through very, very long hours and nights and stuff. But we had a fantastic team with this. We all had sort of extra drivers in the cab, so we could keep swapping over. So we could obviously.
So we didn't get too tired.
Yeah, so we need to stay awake for this kind of stuff.
You kind of do 4.5 hours, have a break. 4.5 hours, have a break. So.
Which is a tricky thing. But then, hang on, I've just messed that up again. I do apologise. There we go. Just a bit of that. Some more time lapse into the sunset. So yes, so it was quite a fantastic team. Lots of fun, and it was great fun actually. Just chatting while you're walking, sort of driving along, because we learned all kinds of stuff about all kinds of people, which was great.
Yeah. So what were your highlights of the trip?
That's a good question. I think really what was interesting is actually getting all that way to the border. And then when we get there, obviously it was quite tense, because obviously there was a lot of waiting, a lot of paperwork to be done to get across.
And obviously the police escort as well, because we could actually stop when we got into Ukraine.
And obviously we managed to get, obviously it's so well organised, so we obviously managed to get across the border, a massive queue of trucks and stuff, but actually the guys managed to get us across, in quick time. Which was
the organisation was second to none.
It really was. It was quite stunning actually. So it was
hats off to the team of organisers.
Yeah, it really was very, very good.
And everybody behind the scenes, obviously, that made it all happen.
And thank you to all of you guys as well who've donated to help us get there, which was quite fantastic as well, because it was rather wonderful. Now, the interesting thing is actually when we were there, obviously we'd done all that unloading and stuff, got everything out to where it needed to get to, and then coming back, the last time the guys went down, they had about a 14-hour wait at the border, and thankfully, obviously, we have some fans over in Hungary.
There we go.
So hello Nicoletta, thank you very much for helping us get across the border in good time as well. It was rather wonderful. And as I say, here's the team. Fantastic. Hello guys. I don't know why I'm waving at you.
Hi guys. Yeah, it was a team effort, so everybody in the team just made it happen. So it was really, really good. So brilliant team, really nice bunch of guys there. And obviously Becky for keeping us all in check.
Absolutely, yes, thank you, Becky.
Hats off to Becky.
And if you guys, obviously, any of you want to still donate, then here are the links. They're also.
And obviously, Becky, if I was 20 years younger, yes, I would consider marriage. So thank you.
I didn't know that was on the cards.
Yeah, well, she did ask me.
Oh, she asked you. That's very lovely, isn't it?
But I said I was far too old.
And you're not wrong.
But I was flattered.
Well, there we go. That's fantastic. So that was our wonderful little trip, and it was very successful. It was great, and we may well go back again. You never know.
Yeah.
If we're invited, I think we're invited. We'll see how we are.
Well, I did offer. So it was very enjoyable, and it was nice actually getting back behind the wheel of a truck because it's been a few years.
Yeah, it had been quite a few years.
Well, I don't know, maybe a few years.
But you had a full-size truck, which was
full-size truck. You don't forget. It's like riding the bike, isn't it? You don't forget how to drive a car, so you don't forget how to drive a truck.
Well, I only had a little 7.5 tonner, and it was quite small.
Little Tonka toy.
Yeah, I need to get an HGV1 license so I can actually drive something a bit bigger.
Yeah, join the big boys.
Exactly. All right, go. Hello, Philip. There we go. Hello from North East England. Hello.
Hi, Philip.
Yes, and hello to Yorkshire, obviously.
Mr. Murphy.
Yes. And hello from Alaska, I think that was, and hello from Poland. Hang on, just get some of these to go down here. How do I do that? Well, it's miles away, so hello from everyone. Hello, Kosovo. Hello, Poland. Fantastic. Hello. It's great to have you all here, actually. It's quite exciting. Now, I suppose we have some questions here. If you've got a question, just put a little Q on there, and then so we can actually see those things coming up, and we'll have our wonderful assistants doing the same thing. Greetings from Ukraine. Thanks for your help. There we are.
It was our absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Hopefully we can help you guys out again. It'll be an honour.
Yeah, that was great. So yes, so we've had it's been a busy time since. I don't know why. It's obviously one of those things where you get into this whole other headspace. Obviously, all that driving, listening to groovy music, talking to wonderful people, and then you kind of get back here, and it's back into the swing of things, which is quite exciting as well. So,
see, I've been busy. You've been busy.
Yeah. So what have you been doing this week then?
Well, this week today actually, I've been fitting electric windows in a Chevy truck.
Okay.
It's actually a 55 Chevrolet van. Mm-hmm. So the guy wants electric windows, so...
Because they weren't exactly standard, were they?
No, so it did have wind-up windows, but as you think, you buy a kit, and obviously nothing ever fits. So you have to adapt the kit, the instructions, well, you might as well not have any instructions.
Okay.
So I've been doing that. So tomorrow, finish it off.
That's great.
So it's good.
And now I heard you had some fun stuff with the old, your Anglia.
Yeah, some Anglia, yes, so that's good. I took it to a car show last Sunday.
Yeah.
Put a little for sale notice in it, because I don't really need it.
You had to walk back?
No, I didn't have to walk back, but some guys there really took an interest in it, so they came round to see me Monday night. And the son's buying it, so he's 23 years old, and it's his first car, so I thought that's really cool, isn't it? So starting off with a classic.
That's a great way to start, isn't it? That's fantastic.
So did the deal when he's picking it up on Tuesday.
Very, very cool.
So, it's one car gone.
Yeah, well, talking of cars, we've got one behind it, or a couple of behind us, and Tufan is asking, what are the cars behind you? Of course, these are the Cadillacs from Wheeler Dealers Series 13.
Yeah, Wheeler
so
Dealers.
If I get this right, that one there is the Tourer. That's one we had to buy for parts, and that one, no, hang on, that one, this is very confusing, is the 1916 Rally Cadillac that we were actually going to go all the way to Peking to Paris, and so hopefully that is still the plan. That's what we're going to do. Obviously, we actually got all the work on that car. We've still got the engine. We did a load of work actually while I'm out in America. We need to put it all together, pop it in, actually get it working, and then go for a bit of a drive. But the one on that side, you're going to see coming up in a couple of weeks' time, because we need to set, well, the thing that makes that car unique, as we know, is the starter. It's the first car with an electric starter.
Yeah.
Exactly. It doesn't entirely work, so I'm going to take it out, fix it, and then obviously get the car on the road again, and maybe try and catch some shows later on in the year. It'd be quite fun, wouldn't it?
That'd be good.
Yeah, so there you go. Thank you. Good question. There's a question here from Paul Smith. What is your road trip driving music? Here's his Pink Floyd.
Well, I think on this occasion, my road trip driving music was whatever I could get out of the radio. Because unfortunately, the iPod wouldn't connect to the stereo, through the auxiliary jack.
Yeah.
So it was whatever came out. And,
That's very tricky. Hello, Super Maths Player. Thank you for being our number one fan. Yes, well, actually, mine, I think you have to start off. We did it once upon a time. We actually tried to start writing a kind of a CD for driving. And the first track has to be, it's going to have to be ZZ Top, isn't it, I suppose?
ZZ Top
would be a good place to start, and then you kind of move into maybe a bit of Prodigy, a bit of Above and Beyond.
Trouble is, Prodigy tends to make you go a little bit too fast.
It does,
I think.
Yeah, that's true, I suppose. And then so it's a good thought. In fact, if you've got some ideas for that, actually do send them in, and then maybe one day we'll compile a wonderful bit of driving.
I think there's CDs out there specifically for driving.
But we'll have ours from our fans.
Yeah, well, maybe we could buy all of them and then edit everything and then get our own little CD.
Hang on, so there's a message here. Please read messages. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So, Dr. Feelgood, my dad sprays fabric softener to prevent static build-up. Ah, yes, that was the question we had.
Yeah, because we said about putting the auxiliary earth strap on.
Yeah. No, that's a really great idea, because obviously that helps stop the static build-up in the first place, which is very, very clever. So, thank you. Good top tip.
Thank you.
Another question here. Do we have pets? Angela asks. There you go. That's from Brian Reeve. Do we have any pets? I don't have any pets.
Well, I have a Chihuahua cross terrier.
Well, it's an angry terrier.
He's not an angry, and he's probably this big. His name's Digby.
Yeah.
He's now 7.
And he's not the biggest dog in the world.
But he's what you call a low maintenance dog. Ever such a good dog. Good guard dog. Anybody turns up, he barks. So.
Okay. So, Gentiles, what is your question? I'm going to keep looking for that, and so see if we can find it for you. I'm a fan, thank you. Did get your... Hang on. There you go. There's a question here from Craig. Did Paul get that parking ticket issue sorted?
No, I haven't actually. No, I've still got the parking ticket. I'm waiting for the next one to come through. I think it goes from 70 to 105 because obviously I haven't paid it in the 10 days. But I don't think I should. Do you think I should pay it?
No, I think you should get the guy who did the deed to pay it.
I can't find the guy because obviously he's obviously using my number plates. So.
That is true. Well, you should get yourself a penny. So the question from James: is the chassis you recently laser blasted now starting to have surface rust? Interestingly, it's not actually, which is kind of mad.
Because it's kind of it's quite dry in here, isn't it?
Well, it is.
So if it's in a moist environment, then I think it would. Because it's quite dry in here.
But with shot blasting, obviously because you end up with a massive surface area, then obviously often that, even a tiny bit of moisture in the air, it will start going. But in a weird way, because the surface is kind of slightly cooked, then actually it sort of changes, it sort of hasn't really sort of started to sort of bring in the moisture. But we talk about that in a couple of weeks' time.
It's actually fine.
Yeah, it's good. But we took it to some experts just to get an expert opinion on what we need to do because we're going to galvanise it eventually. But we need to still clean it, sort out the inside and stuff. So that's going to be coming up in a week or two's time. So we need to have some fun cleaning it first. Then we're going to try and de-rust the interior. Then we'll get it galvanised.
Well, we do the rust repairs first.
Tons of welding as well. Yes, okay, thank you. But thank you, James. Oh, sorry, I've just lost your question. Here we go. The dude. Hello, the dude. Thank you very much. Spending quite a bit of cash and time getting my car ready for sale. How much time and money is worth spending getting a car ready for sale? Good question. Thank you, the dude.
I guess it's how much the car is.
Well, that's true. I mean, the thing is, obviously, like the very, very basic thing is make your wheels and your windows look amazing because that's the first start. Yeah. And then obviously the next thing would be making sure your paint is in good order. So of course that could get expensive. I mean, I think if it's got, I guess what we'd say patina, if it actually looks like, sort of, it looks nice and original and it looks like history rather than just damage, if that makes any sense, then I think probably you could get away with leaving that. But obviously, if they're just nasty scratches and bits and pieces that are like been gouged out by somebody's studded jeans or whatever, then I think then probably you do need to actually have that fixed.
Yeah.
So it's a good question. But I think as Paul says, it's really going to be a percentage possibly of how much
the car is
worth. If you've got a Veyron that's worth whatever mazillions, then probably
you'll have your butt to clean it. Yeah. But there's other things as well, like exterior mouldings. The black mouldings on the car. Sometimes on old cars they deteriorate, so you can get a treatment to actually treat them and
that's true.
Revitalise them.
Okay, like headlight, glass lenses or whatever.
Polish the headlamps.
I think it's one of those things. I think go through the list of all the stuff that costs you almost nothing. So it's just kind of literally elbow grease and a bit of labour and stuff.
But wheels, that's the key thing, isn't it? Wheels,
and it's worth
let a car down.
With wheels, it's worth probably if they're really bad, actually having get one of these mobile services to come over and actually have your wheels treated before you have them painted over because that's actually quite a key thing. Hang on, what's this one here? So Digby Taylor. Hey Paul, my name's Digby. There we go. Thank you, Digby.
Hi, Digby. Yeah, great name.
Yeah, it's a great name. But you're not a big dog either, which is great. Nobody pretty remembers that. It was a film. It was on every single Christmas for 100 years. Yeah, Digby, the biggest dog in the world.
Mine's Digby, the smallest dog in the world. Yeah.
So it doubles after 10 days. I have no idea what that means. Excellent stuff. So look for some other questions here.
Yeah.
Lawrence, okay, so I'm just going to, there we go. Any tips on how to get, this is from Lawrence Hambrook, any tips on how to get an accurate reading on a Gunson track right? That was obviously the thing we were playing around with the Mini, wasn't it, back in the day? Well, I think the on the Outspan Orange, wasn't it, actually? Yes. So on that, I mean, I think I was quite happy with that. I guess the trick is to have a little tiny bit of drag. So if when you have the thing on there, obviously you've got the plumb bolt, the what do you call it? I think which of the track right was the one you drive over or the other one. Maybe it was the drive over one. Yeah. So that is tricky because as you say, it's pretty worth doing it a couple of times just to try and see if there's any kind of consistency, but it's obviously going to give you a pretty good idea. And I think the closer you get to being more accurate, probably the less effective it is. So obviously if your tracking's way out, then it's going to be really helpful. And if it's obviously as soon as you get into a good sort of place, then it almost doesn't matter anyway. But certainly when it came to the other one, which is obviously about Castor and Canberra and stuff, obviously it was about having a little bit of drag, so the plumb just sort of slows down, sort of self-damps a little bit. So there we go. But yes, it's a good question. I think
good question.
So yeah, thank you, Lawrence. And just here to say hi, hello, Jays. And then Wayne saying, how was Ukraine? Well, it was great. And if we go back to the beginning of the video, you will find out how good it was.
It was good. And obviously the bit that touched me the most, I think, was actually inside the building, actually unloading everything with the Ukrainians.
That was pretty cool, actually. Yeah, there's a big team of guys
that was
helping
really
out just to try and get everything out.
And then it was real. Then our journey ended there. Pretty much unloading everything with the local guys.
But it's also kind of weird, actually, when we were first getting into Ukraine and stuff, because obviously, even though we weren't in the war zone, obviously there is a war zone in that country. And what was kind of strange about it is that people were just getting on, it looked like, with kind of their daily life, because of course that's what you're going to do, isn't it? Until it's really, really immediate for you. So that was kind of a slightly surreal experience.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing obviously that caught my attention was obviously as we were driving into Ukraine, went over that bridge. And you remember there was a Ukrainian soldier there behind the sandbags with his gun, obviously. Yeah,
that was another real moment, wasn't it? I guess it was.
So that was kind of real, but yeah, very emotional.
It was good, but they are, yes. So hang on, what happens? What happens if your co-driver needs a comfort break during a long drive? Well, Dave would. Yeah, that's a slightly naughty question.
Well, I think I know.
I'm going to let Paul explain that.
Plastic bottles, maybe,
or even a cup if you can't find a plastic bottle.
Yeah,
and we can say no more.
Yeah,
I think,
say no more.
Truckers' lemonade is I suppose a world-renowned problem, isn't it, or phenomenon, should we say? You don't mention Becky at all. Do you do any video of your trip to Ukraine? Well, yes, you've just seen a couple of the videos at the beginning of this video.
Yeah, and I think there'll be more to come.
There will be
once it all gets cut together.
Somebody, Chris from UK, is saying new number plates help. So I guess that's obviously a way of stopping them, sort of nick your old number plate. But then
I could just sell it and get a normal one, and yeah.
But then you'd only paint the Sprinter yellow again. Oh, you see, sell the 28p again.
Yeah, just sell it. Yeah.
Maybe there's a guy with a Bentley who wants to buy it.
Yeah,
comes with a free ticket.
Well, actually, obviously, he decided he doesn't need to buy it; he can just borrow it. So.
Very cool stuff. Angry Pants. What is your favourite tool in your toolbox?
We should actually put the Bentley on there.
Yes.
Shouldn't we?
What, on what?
Well, on our little channel, just so we can show everybody.
Have you got a picture of it?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I'm not sure how clever that is. We could try and try and airdrop it. This might ruin everything, so apologies in advance.
So
but
what we do
in the meantime, while you're faffing out with that, I'll answer Angry Pants' favourite tool in the toolbox. I would say I'm still really enamoured with my solar-powered welding mask, which is really old news now, but it's actually the tool I took to my Wheeler Dealers interview to say what kind of tool was I interested with then, and that worked quite well. So that's kind of groovy. So if I now accept this, hang on. So if I'm going to put that down to there, and then it's going to go to here, and then I think I can drag that to here.
Anywhere.
There we go. So this is, hang on, I think this is, so that is the Bentley that we were talking
look
about.
at that. So that lovely person,
yeah.
Whoever you are, please don't borrow my number plate without asking.
There we are.
Or if you do, at least pay the parking ticket.
Yes, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Thank you.
So back to the tool. What's your favourite tool in your toolbox? Well, I'll think of another one.
My favourite tool in my toolbox?
Yeah. Well, in fact, my favourite tool in my toolbox is Paul.
Only because I can fit in your toolbox. You couldn't actually fit in my toolbox because you're too long. I'd say my quarter drive ratchet.
Really? That's
it's such a handy thing. Yeah, quarter drive snap-on ratchet.
Well, can we must do better than that? I mean, I think if you're going to go just to single tools, I think one thing again I had.
Well, you did say tool. You didn't say tools.
Okay, well, my very first tool like that was a long time ago when I was working with Beetles and stuff. On the top of the Solex carburettor, underneath the bolts that hold it down, the back one's really hard to get to. Yeah. I managed to get a spanner. It already came with a kind of a right angle. So if you imagine it's a double open-ended spanner, so one's that end and then one's that way. Yeah, that looks really awful. Anyway, you know what I mean? Yep. And that was really cool. So that was one of my first special tools. But there we go. So that was quite a cool little tool. And I'm thinking there must be something else as well. Like that little oscilloscope I got the other day, that little cheap thing. That was quite a groovy little tool, or silly scope as we like to call it.
Borescope. It's another handy bit of kit, isn't it?
I didn't want to know. That is a handy tool. Question here from Gary. Are you going to insulate the shop? That is a fantastically excellent question.
I think it's too big to insulate, isn't it?
Of course not. We absolutely have to. Right now, I would say the temperature is pretty much perfect, isn't it? I've got no idea how many degrees it is. It probably says in the van, actually. So we've got really quite temperate climate. In fact, you can have a look at this. It is 22 degrees. So that is room temperature, everybody.
That's quite pleasant, isn't it?
22
degrees.
It's much better than -5 or 37 degrees, which this room often gets into. So, yes, we are going to insulate the workshop as soon as possible, because otherwise it's going to be horrible in about a week or two's time. So it's going to be a big old job, but we'll make it a part of the show. I don't know how we'll make that interesting, but at least a bit of time lapse. Maybe we should have a race. I'll do one side, you do the other side. And I won't even bother using a lift. I'll just do it by reaching.
I don't know. Well, I've got to paint my floor in my workshop.
I don't care about that. I want insulation in this workshop.
Yeah.
All right, brilliant. Well, thank you, Gary. Yes, it's a good question. We'll get on with that immediately. And there's another question here. Okay, hang on, where are we? Are you going to clean inside the frame, or how are you going to clean inside the frame? Mountain Man 3000. That's a good question. So the chassis, got a couple of cunning plans. First thing, we're going to try and vacuum out there's a lot of mud in there, so we'll vacuum it out. Then I guess we need to jet wash it out, and then I'm thinking we might just get a little bit of electrolysis going on.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of interesting, just to see if we can actually turn the rust physically into not rust anymore, get rid of the oxygen and make it into back to steel. Now, it's obviously an interesting thing, because you could argue there are other ways of doing it, but I have never played with that before, so I thought this is a perfect
I think we need to get the worst of it out first, don't we? Lots and lots of mud in there. It's caked. I don't know what John was doing. What was he doing with that?
Well, he was off-roading, and then he was kind of sitting in puddles, obviously, and then he was going through fords, which kind of, I guess, got that mud all kind of liquidy, and then just settled beautifully inside the chassis. So that's going to be our first.
So we kind of need, it's important we get that out.
So we're going to get Paul a little miner's helmet and just send him in.
Yeah, I can actually get in there, couldn't I? Turn on my boroscope and just get in there.
Well, that's the plan. So that's going to come up again in a couple of weeks' time as well. So it's quite good fun. And then once we've actually cleaned the inside and got it all sorted, then we'll start doing the welding, then we'll get to the galvanising. So be lots of Range Rover magic coming up. In fact, the show in a minute is going to be, the show in 9 minutes is actually going to be all about the axles. So actually went up to Britpart and had a little look at that, just to see what we could do, get some expert help, and just strip them all down to see how awful they were.
Very good.
It's, oh, look at this. 1 second, here we go. If I do that up to there, and then look at that. So that is the inside of the chassis, as you see. So we've got a lot of rust, a lot of mud, lots of unpleasantness. So it's kind of quite interesting. So it's a great question. So Renault Scenic. Hang on, let's have a look at this question here. It's a question from Mick Nolan. Ed, hi Renault Scenic 02. The heater just does not work. Could this be as simple as a fuse? When you say the heater doesn't work, I guess you mean the blower bit. So it could be, I guess, obviously, yes, a fuse. It could be a relay. The classic thing, relays do kind of get old after a while, and they can just sort of just stop working. So if you can find where the fuse is, first check that, and then the chances of the relay has actually stopped working, it could be the means that the fuse is already
process elimination, isn't it?
Really, so, and then literally just unplug it and plug it back together again.
Got power going to it.
Yeah, and then have a little look at that. Often if they are corroded, they might kind of burst a little bit. You'll sort of see them sort of expand, you might see some kind of green gunk coming out. So try that next. And as you say, just literally like we're doing with the AC on the van, just kind of go through systematically, start with the cheap, easy stuff, and then end up with the expensive bits at the end. But I think trying to trick the fan into working, obviously it's going to be deep in the inside of your dashboard, I guess. So that can be a bit of a faff. But
it can be awkward.
Start with the fuse and then the relay, and then you could always try and connect up the relay there. Check for the resistance of the.
It might be a dodgy switch.
That is true enough. So good luck with that. But hopefully it will be something simple. Let's have another look here. What's that? Sorry, any work on motorcycles? A question from Dope. Was it Topey? That's a good question. Well, obviously we did the monkey bike, which was good fun, and the test drive was much more fun than actually doing the work, which is to be fair, but that was good fun. But I think we should do a slightly bigger bicycle, maybe a full-size motorbike. In fact, I've got a friend with a motorbike and sidecar, and that may well get into the workshop, so that'd be quite good fun. Well, then we could go on a little mission, on a little trip. It'd be quite good fun. So yes, we'd like to do that. I haven't really ever played that. Well, when I was growing up, didn't really play with motorcycles much, which was silly because I could have dragged them into my bedroom rather than having to get a garage for them. But so it will come, and we'll have to delve into that world.
Okay, look forward to it.
Right, looking for more questions here. Maybe you begin a new car show. I'm not quite sure what that means, whether this one is not quite good enough for you, or whether you want a live car show. But thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
We could definitely do that. It'd be quite interesting. I mean, we've got lots of ideas for that, actually, doing sort of live events and all that sort of thing would be quite fun, but it's a lot of work. You know, Mr. Smith, Johnny Smith, has been doing that all last year, and I think he's still having a rest, because it's obviously going to be... But hello, Johnny. Yeah, that was a good old time. It was good fun, but it was quite an undertaking. Another question here. That's a good question from William. Mark 1 RX-7 or Porsche 924?
Well, I mean, do you want a rotary or do you want a normal engine? That's the question.
I think a normal engine. I think I'm. See, if it was 928, definitely 928.
Yeah.
If it was 944, probably 944. 924, I might be tempted to go for the RX-7 because that Wankel is a fantastic thing.
Two totally different cars, aren't they? Really?
Totally different cars. Yeah. So it's an interesting dilemma.
Yeah.
But hang on, there's a question there from someone we might know. Hang on, I'll just get rid of that one. And then this one here. I made that noise myself. I know. Wipers on number 8. I think that was a little bit of a comment to do with the truck P problem. There we are.
Obviously I was truck number 8, and the wipers were
on all the time.
On all the time, yeah.
Question from Paul E. Any scary moments in Ukraine? Well, not really. I guess at night, obviously, some of the driving got a little bit more erratic, but I think the roadworks do get very narrow. I'm going to say no more, but they may have been sparks off one of the vehicles. But there we go. but
it wasn't my vehicle. I can assure you that.
Or mine, actually, I'm going to say.
No.
But the thing is, it wasn't. I mean, the thing is, that's the thing. It was quite a safe trip. Again, it was mostly just driving through Europe, and then obviously a little bit of tension at the end. But there we go, and then back again. So we go. Oh, actually, and the food on the ferry was a bit scary in places.
I thought the food on the ferry was lovely.
It was very good. Yes, but I didn't see the liver. That looked a bit weird.
How about your quarters on the ferry?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, very good. That was good. Oh, hang on. There's a silly question here. I say silly question from Thomas. Seen on the new car SOS series when he replaced Fuzz. I'm never going to replace Fuzz. Fuzz is irreplaceable, but I might work with him and Tim. You never know. Might see what happens. It's been quite fun popping up every once in a while. Just
I'll
to
see you later then.
Because you're going there too. All right, fair enough. There's news that I haven't heard yet either, so that's quite exciting. But no, yes, well, it's good fun to play with guys, and we may do some more. So see what happens. Tell them if you want it. Yeah. So I'm now reading things which I probably shouldn't do. I've been following you from Italy, Jack the Ripper. Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you.
What's the hardest, strangest motor you've ever worked on? Shiloh. That's a good question. I
reckon it's probably one of those Cadillacs.
Yeah, well, I think the 1916 was probably the hardest because it started as a little tiny pile of rust with a few bits and pieces, and we had there was no cover on the box that it came in to try and work out what was going to go. So that was quite tough. So and there were so many things that I guess were cutting edge at the time, but we've so moved on from, except for things like ceramic coated exhaust system, which is out of the factory on the Cadillac 100 years ago, which is mad. That seems quite modern. But yeah, that's good. But also remember the.
But even the Darek.
The Polish. Well, yeah, we know the Darek was good.
The Serena was good, wasn't it?
The Serena was kind of interesting.
3-cylinder 2-stroke engine.
And the radiator behind the engine.
Yeah,
so that was all a bit strange. So that was quite novel, quite like that. But I mean, the hardest, other than that, I mean, you keep going back to the Bentley. That was just to take that apart for the roof spray was annoying.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't actually do any mechanical on the Bentley, did we? No. As such. So fortunately, it ran really well, which was a godsend.
So that's where they come back to the Darek, because plimbing wheels, and then obviously that didn't work when we actually put the wheels trying to expand the wheel, and then actually putting a new tyre.
And we had a new vanes and that made for the water pump.
Yes,
which Mike got done, which was a nice little process. Yeah. So that was good.
So it's all good stuff. Right. Okay, so I'll just do that and then do that. Some cheeky monkey. In the right hand, what does OBT2 scanner do for its user? That's a very good question. So obviously we've actually found it quite handy. Well, it does. Well, the thing is, it allows you, and certainly on the modern cars, it allows you to actually sort of choose some of the options or unchoose them in the case of Paul's car.
Yep. Thank you.
Which is quite good fun. But I mean, but even just sort of removing error codes, finding out what's actually going wrong, so you can obviously get a bit of a head start rather than take it to a garage. You can actually do some of the work yourself, and then you can delete those error codes and then see if the error comes back, so that you can see if your fixes worked. So that kind of stuff is very useful. In fact, right now on the T5, we've been doing a lot of stuff on the AC, and we had a couple of issues there, and it's helped me get down the line. It hasn't told me all the answers, but it's definitely helped a little bit. We've only got a minute left, which is quite second. Well, in fact, 53 seconds.
So what
Isn't
else?
This exciting?
So what else?
What else
do you like about our little road trip?
Well, I think it was all rather wonderful, and as I say, it was nice to feel like we're actually doing something. So that was quite good.
I think we established that the Austrian food was second to none, wasn't it?
Yep.
I mean, those breakfasts were just absolutely fabulous, weren't they?
They really were, which is very good. But I think there was a lot of chat about the truckers' lemonade. I think we went into go there.
The truckers' lemonade, yeah.
And then a quick question from David Cherry: how much does an LPG conversion cost? I can't remember, but also it's possibly not the way to go. Maybe you should have a look at hydrogen, although nobody's really doing those conversions yet.
No.
But LPG is getting harder and harder to buy in petrol stations,
Yeah.
so that will gas stations, I guess. So, but I would think I don't know. I'm not even going to hazard a guess. Do you remember what it was?
No, I have no idea.
So we can't answer that question.
That
That
was
was a
a long
stupid
time
question to answer. Sorry,
Long
Dave.
time ago.
So everyone needs to.
Well, now everybody, yes, going on to the next show. Enjoy it.
Thank you very much
It's
for
going to be
watching.
fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
You need to